Hey everyone, it's Chica with another Altered Moments tutorial. Today we're making this guy bald. As you know, I've been taking Precious Moments figurines and altering them into something fun and new. We have a huge community in our Facebook group of other artists who love to make altered moments too. One of our most common questions is, how do you make a figurine bald? I did it with my Mr. T and it was a huge success. It definitely took a lot of time and work though. So I'm going to show you today on this guy right here. We're going to make him bald. To do this, we're going to be using a rotary tool and we're going to be cutting away parts of the porcelain. When you're using such a powerful tool, we definitely want to talk about safety. The first thing is to work in a well-ventilated area. It's a beautiful day today, so I'm outside on my deck where it's nice and ventilated. You should definitely wear safety goggles. Grinding away bits of porcelain with a rotary tool can send up chips and you do not want them hitting your eyes. You should also wear a filtering mask. Lots of dust comes up when you grind this away and you do not want to breathe it in, so make sure you have a mask. And finally, just be careful. This is a really powerful tool. We're going to be using some really sharp bits on it. We are cutting stone after all. Don't press too hard, don't be too aggressive, and don't cut your fingers. As far as tools go, we're going to be using a rotary tool. This is the Dremel 4000. I really like it. I've actually got a separate video on how to use this and how all of the bits work. So if you're interested in this particular model, definitely check that out. If you don't have this model, that's fine. Pretty much any rotary tool will work as long as it's powerful enough to be able to cut into porcelain. We're going to use 3 different types of accessories in this tool for the 3 phases of this process. The first step requires a diamond-coated cutting wheel. The second step will use diamond-coated grinding attachments. And the third step will use these grinding stones for a nice smooth finish. Okay, the first step is to remove anything large and protruding from the piece. Here's 2 example figurines that have different things on top of their head. This one's got a nice little calic on top and she's got a big bow on top. Since this is the one we're actually going to do, we just need to worry about this little calic. This is where we're going to use our diamond-coated cutting wheel just to cut that off. We could grind it down, but this will make much easier work. So let's get this in our rotary tool. We're going to use this wheel to cut this little knob off quickly and easily. All right, we got most of that bulk off, no problem. For step 2, we're going to remove the bulk of this hair. We have to be really careful here not to go too deep. These pieces are hollow and we don't want to go down inside of his head, but we definitely want to get this bulk off. For this, we're going to use our diamond-coated grinding bits. These have a nice rough surface and can take a lot of material off quickly. So I'm going to use this along the head like this to get as much of this hair off as we can and get that down nice and smooth. All right, in only about 30 seconds, I've already made pretty huge progress, but I wanted to point out a couple of things here. First of all, this does obviously take the paint off. If you want to keep your piece this skin color, you're going to have to paint the head to match. That could be pretty tricky. So basically, if you're going to make this bald, be prepared to paint his entire head, whatever skin color you choose. The second thing to keep in mind is you don't want to go too deep here because this is hollow on the inside. If you grind too far down, you might expose a hole, which is going to be a pain to have to fill later. The third thing to keep in mind is this does leave behind a pretty rough surface. Because these are a very aggressive grit, this will remove a lot of material and leave behind a pretty rough surface. We're going to polish that later in step 3, but just keep in mind that it's going to be pretty rough. I'm going to keep on going until I get all this hair gone. All right, I made a little more progress and I want to stop and show you something. See how I've got this part smooth and this part smooth, but there's this little line here between? That means I have not smoothed that down enough. That's where the original porcelain is showing between these tendrils of hair. So you definitely want to get it smooth and white all the way and get all of those little lines out. All right, look at that. I've removed quite a bit of this excess. I can see here there's still some ridges though, so I'm going to go back and do a little more grinding right there. Okay, so that removed the bulk of the hair. I've left it on the back so that you can see for comparison. See how there's all this grooves here? So that grinding stone did a great job of getting that bulk out, but it's never going to be perfectly smooth because that's a very rough textured stone. So now we need to go to phase 3. By the way, look at all this dust I made. This is why you need to work outside and wear a mask. All right, so for phase 3, we're going to use these grinding stones. These come in a variety of sizes, different colors. The blue ones tend to work a little better than the red ones, but we're going to use what we've got and we're going to smooth this down to get this nice and smooth. All right, let's set some expectations here. Up to this point, it's only taken 2 or 3 minutes to do this much work. Even though I only did half of the head, it's still very fast because these diamond coated bits really take this material off quick. However, to get this smooth finish with this much milder grinding stone, it's going to take a lot of time and patience. Be ready. This is going to take a while, but the result is going to be worth it because we're going to get rid of all of these imperfections. All right, there we have it after some more grinding. You can see that is looking much, much better. I could probably do a little bit more on that. You can see the different results you get are going to depend on how much time you spend. I probably spent about 15 or 20 minutes on that. Again, it's just half the head, but you can see huge results. There's one more thing you can do, kind of a bonus tip. I have this spongy sandpaper here. It's got like a flexible handle to it. I could do a little bit of sanding here just as a final, just super smooth. This is hardly going to take anything off, but it's something you can do. All right, there's my little bald head. Isn't he cute? Now, if you want to test this, once you put the paint on, you're going to see any sort of imperfections. I can see a little bit maybe right there that needs a little bit touch up. Also, taking a picture of it and then zooming in on the picture will really show your imperfections. So try that too, or go to really bright light. And you can see, and eventually you'll have a little bald guy. So it's really not that difficult to make your little figurine bald. It just takes time and patience and the right tools. So give it a shot and let me know how it goes. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. And if you're not in our Facebook group already, please come join. We have an amazing community of artists there that are all creating really fun altered moments out of precious moments. Hope you found this helpful. Thanks for watching. See ya.